The statement arrives. The number is larger than last month. You pay the minimum. The number grows. This isn't personal failure. It's the system working exactly as designed. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact behaviors separating the household paying 17 years of interest from the one earning a free flight to Rome. Card companies built this product knowing how most people would use it. No guessing needed. They had decades of behavioral data before the first rewards tier was ever printed. $130 billion paid in interest and fees by American cardholders in a single year. That money did not build a single retirement account. Not one. The average American household carries $6,501 in credit card debt. At today's rates, that balance has a built-in cost most people have never actually calculated. 21.47%, the average credit card interest rate in 2024. The highest ever recorded. At that number, the math stops being abstract and starts being personal. A $6,000 balance paid at minimums takes over 17 years to clear and costs more than $9,000 in interest alone. 17 years for $6,000. The heaviest credit card burden isn't carried by young people. It falls on households aged 45 to 54, those with the least time to recover from compounding debt. Card companies don't need your transaction, they need your balance. 70 to 80% of their revenue comes from people who carry a balance, not from the swipe. Rewards are real, but carry a balance, and that month's interest erases every point, every mile, every dollar of cash back, and then takes considerably more. This was not an accident of design. Every grace period, every rewards tier, every minimum payment formula was built around a very specific model of human behavior. There are 4 specific behaviors credit card companies count on. Most people exhibit at least 2 of them without ever recognizing it in themselves. Notice what is happening here. The minimum payment was designed to feel like progress. It is not progress. It is the slowest and most expensive way to remain in debt. Read that line again. Paying $200 on a $400 balance feels responsible. But if it is not the full balance, the card charges interest on the entire amount, not the remainder. The rewards category bonus encourages spending more in that category than you would have otherwise. That is not a coincidence. The card company designed it that way from the start. The rollover is where it gets expensive fast. Last month's unpaid balance becomes this month's starting point, and from that very first day, the interest clock never stops running. The top 20% of earners are 3 times more likely to pay their full balance every month. That one habit is where most of the financial divergence begins. Pay the statement balance in full before the due date every cycle. Not the minimum. Not most of it. All of it. That single rule changes everything that follows. Between the statement closing date and the due date sits a grace period, typically 21 to 25 days. During that window, borrowed money costs nothing. Nothing at all. Paying in full each cycle keeps your cash in an interest-bearing account up to 55 days longer than paying at the register. That difference quietly adds up. Set autopay to the full statement balance, not the minimum, not a fixed amount. The full statement balance. That single instruction removes the decision from the equation entirely. Stop and think. If you've carried a balance for 5 years at these rates, calculate what you've actually paid. That number will shock you. For anyone who wants the strategy without complexity, a flat-rate cash-back card with no annual fee is the cleanest instrument. One rate on everything. No category management required. Rotating category cards pay 5% in areas like groceries, gas, and dining, but only quarterly. They reward people who track spending and punish those who don't. A premium travel card charging $500 annually only pays off if you actively use its credits and benefits. The math depends entirely on your actual spending habits. Before paying an annual fee, calculate benefits you'll actually use, not those advertised. If the real return doesn't clearly beat the fee, the no-fee card wins. 2 cards is the limit of useful complexity for most households. 1 flat rate default, 1 category card for your biggest spending areas. Beyond that, management costs exceed the rewards. The card isn't extra money. It's a payment rail for spending you've already decided on. The moment it influences what you spend, the system works against you. A credit limit increase isn't a reward. It's an expansion of the space where mistakes can happen. When the bank offers you more room, notice what they're really doing. Credit score models look at how much of your available limit you are using. Keeping utilization below 10% signals low-risk behavior, and that signal matters for future borrowing costs. Closing an old card removes its age from your credit history. Since average account age affects your score, the smarter move is often keeping it open and simply stopping use. Close a card only if the annual fee outweighs its benefits, it tempts overspending, or the issuer changes terms unfavorably. Otherwise, keeping it open costs you nothing. Store cards charge interest rates up to 26 to 30%, and they only work at one retailer. That combination makes them the most expensive credit available. 0% for 18 months sounds great, but deferred interest clauses charge full retroactive interest if even $1 remains when the promotional period ends. Always read the fine print. A balance transfer to a 0% card buys time, but stop using the original card and clear the balance before the promotional rate expires. List every balance, sort by interest rate, highest to lowest. Throw every extra dollar at the top rate, minimums everywhere else. Sequence matters. That's how you crush interest paid. Sit with that idea for a moment. 17 years. For a $6,000 balance. That is not a financial statistic. That is a life decision dressed up as a monthly convenience. When a balance hits 0, that minimum payment doesn't disappear. It redirects to the next debt, then to savings. That redirection is the entire mechanism. $300 a month redirected from interest into a 7% account grows to over $40,000 in 10 years. That math is what's waiting on the other side. High earners don't spend more to earn rewards. They route existing, budgeted expenses, bills, groceries, pre-planned travel, through the card and collect returns on spending already decided. Fixed monthly bills, utilities, insurance, subscriptions are perfect for a rewards card. The amount is predictable, the money's already there, and autopay handles the rest. Travel rewards return 2 to 5 cents per point on flights, versus 1 cent for cash back. But that gap only matters if the flight was already in your budget. Points expire, and programs change terms without warning. Hoarding points for a trip that never happens is a quiet way to lose value you already earned. Notice that. Credit cards carry federal protections that debit cards do not. Disputed charges, fraud reversal, purchase protection, these are real dollar value benefits most cardholders never factor into the calculation. When a merchant fails to deliver, your card offers a second avenue, the chargeback. Most people fight merchants directly and lose. This route changes everything. Remember it. Many credit cards extend the manufacturer's warranty by a full year at no charge. On appliances or electronics, that coverage has real value, yet most cardholders never use it. Purchase protection covers damage or theft on eligible items for 90 days post-purchase. On one major buy per year, that benefit alone can justify a premium card's annual fee. Weekly transaction review is a discipline, not a burden. Catching fraud in week 1 costs nothing. Waiting 6 months costs considerably more. The math speaks for itself. Read every line of your monthly statement. Subscription charges and mystery fees accumulate silently. The statement audit is the only place those errors surface before they compound. People who use credit cards correctly never feel dread before opening their statement. That absence of dread is the clearest sign the system is working. When all planned spending runs through one card, the statement becomes an automatic ledger. Every category, every merchant, every dollar, visible in one place at cycle end. 3 warning signs. You don't know your balance, you're paying more than the minimum but never in full, or charging things you'd never buy with cash. Anyone means stop. If the system breaks down, reset it. Cash or debit only, every variable category, 30 days. The friction forces you to feel what spending actually costs. Return to cards in stages. Start with one fixed bill, cash already in the account. Hold 60 days, then add one category. Never expand faster than your discipline holds. If you're between 50 and 65, listen closely. Every dollar lost to credit card interest is a dollar that won't compound in a tax-advantaged account during your highest earning years. 3 years at 21% interest on $6,000 costs roughly $3,800 in missed contributions. Inside a retirement account, that $3,800 becomes far more by 62. When the card stops costing you money, everything shifts. Interest disappears. Rewards accumulate. Your statement becomes confirmation of a plan, not a record of a problem. 5 steps. Pay the full statement balance every cycle. Set autopay to enforce it. Use 2 cards max. Run only budgeted purchases. And audit monthly. That's the system. Step 1 runs without willpower. Set full balance autopay once. Confirm it every 6 months. And the most important decision in this system makes itself. That's the point. Choose a card that matches how you actually spend, not how you intend to. A dining rewards card is worthless if you rarely eat out. Match the card to reality. The ceiling is not a feeling. It is a number. Set it before the month begins. When the card reaches that number, it stops, regardless of available credit. 5 minutes, once a week. Every transaction reviewed. Fraudulent charges caught early. Subscription creep stopped before it accumulates. That is the entire maintenance cost of using the card correctly. The monthly audit confirms what your weekly checks should already show. If something surprising appears, that's important information. Don't ignore it. Card companies split users into 2 groups. Customers pay interest and generate profit, while cardholders collect rewards at the company's expense. Your goal is to become the second one. Everything here is public: the rates, the math, the patterns. None of it is hidden. The only variable left is whether tonight's decision differs from last month's. The card is a tool, a float mechanism, a rewards engine, but only for those who make one decision: pay the full balance every time on time. With credit cards resolved, a bigger decision awaits. Social Security timing is permanent, yet most people choose without ever calculating their break-even age.